All right, hi everybody. It looks like we've got a quorum going, so we will get started. Thank you for joining us here today for this webinar to learn about field data collection and education using smartphones and tablets. Today you'll be hearing from geospatial experts and applied field data systems. My name is Stephanie Giard, and I'm the marketing director here at Geospatial Experts. I will be today's moderator. Here's what you can expect during the webinar. We're going to start with a little background on geospatial experts and applied field data systems, and then we're going to move on to an explanation of how GeoJot Plus can be used as a field data collection tool in education. Next, there'll be an overview of the GeoJot Plus product functionality, which will be followed by the most exciting part, the live demonstration of GeoJot Plus. We're going to wrap the webinar up with a Q&A session where people can ask whatever kind of questions they have about the system. And then after the webinar, I did want to let you know that we are going to post the recorded webinar, PowerPoint slides, and a full Q&A transcript. So I have a few housekeeping issues to cover before we get started. As I said, at the end of the webinar, we have a Q&A session. So everyone should have a vertical toolbar in the upper right-hand corner of their screen. If it's minimized, you'll just see the red arrow, and you want to click on that red arrow to maximize the toolbar. In that toolbar, there's a Q&A section where you can type in questions. Please feel free to type in questions at any time during the presentation. Your questions will be fed into the queue and answered during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. We will try our best to answer all of your questions, but even if we can't get to all of the questions, as I said earlier, we are going to post the Q&A transcript with answers to everyone's questions after the webinar is completed. If you're having any technical difficulties during the webinar, please use the chat section in the toolbar to let us know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Geospatial Experts is the world leader in providing photo mapping software for business. We first pioneered photo-based field data collection with the 2001 introduction of GPS PhotoLink. And then in 2011, we got into the mobile field data collection when we introduced the GeoJot Plus app, which lets smartphones and tablets use the cloud to collect and transfer field data. And today we're going to demonstrate our latest innovation, our full field data collection solution, GeoJot Plus. GeoJot Plus allows you to collect data in the field with our mobile app, allows you to manage all of your licenses and transfer them for the mobile application, and then also lets you create your final reports. So it's everything you need in one package. Next slide. All right, so our photo mapping software applications are used by every federal agency, all the states, large number of cities and regional governments, much of the Fortune 1000. And as you can see down here at the bottom, we've highlighted just a handful of the schools. Hundreds of schools are using GPS PhotoLink and GeoJot. Our solutions are sold and supported by geospatial experts and our resellers and solution partners located throughout the United States and the rest of the world. One of our resellers is Applied Field Data Systems, and that's who we're doing this presentation with today. So in just a minute, you're going to hear from Ashok Wadhwani from Applied Field Data Systems. We're really excited to be partnered with them. Ashok is very committed to education. As you can see here, he was the recipient of the President's Award at the National Council for Geographic Education. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass the control of the presentation over to Ashok. Ashok?
Yes, thank you.
All right, there we go.
Sorry, I'm just jumping. Thank you. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Ashok Wadhwani, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about GeoJot overview. So the first question is, why is field data collection in education important for your students? Well, number one, it promotes geographic understanding. It also helps students grasp special concepts. It provides hands-on experience with real-world data, and it's ideal tool for class projects, as you will see. So here's a good example of a typical student type project, which your project from a traffic sign inventory. As you see, we have attributes, and then you have attribute values, which could be selected from a pick list. So you create these pick lists and attributes on your PC, and Rick will show you that later. But this is so easy it is that you can create any of the attributes and the attributes value and then download in the app and you're ready to go. And as I said, Rick will show you the exact workflow later on. So GeoJot Plus is really an app which allows you from field data collection to final reports. In a way, it's pieces of 4 components. One is a GeoJot Plus app, as you see on the left side. Then you have a cloud component, and the third component is GeoJot Plus Core, which allows you to create reports and geotag the pictures. And the last is the GeoJot Plus Administrator's Dashboard, which will allow you to assign licenses or revoke licenses or transfer licenses. But basically, the application runs on Android, Apple, and Windows 6 mobile devices. It will automatically transfer photos and data to the office via the cloud. Once the data is back in the office, creating reports, maps, and database input is very easy, as Rick will show you. And the GeoJot Plus Administrator Dashboard allows you, as I said, to revoke, add, or transfer various licenses to different students. So here's some example in real life, not necessarily student projects, but just the application, how people are using it. It could be compliant documentation for EPA requirements. It could be for site assessments. A very important application, common, is a disaster response. If you want a proof of performance or asset inventory, these are some typical examples of how GeoJot Plus is being used in real life. So GeoJot Plus in education is an ideal educational tool. You learn the hardware. You can use the hardware you already own, which is a smartphone. Once the application has been given to a student, you can easily transfer the license to a new student or a new department group. It's a very simple app, as you will see, interface for minimal training. We also do provide training materials, which will be covering later. And you have extensive reporting and output capabilities, which again Rick will show you. And the ability to integrate with ArcGIS, which I know is very important to most of you, and also the Google Earth Maps, which also a lot of people are using now. It's a hands-on tool for students. You create data collection forms in the class or in the field. You email the forms to classes or teams of students. You have a consistent and accurate pick list for each student or a project. And the data, once collected, is automatically transferred to the classroom via the cloud. It's a data management tool. It teaches you the ideas of consistency and quality standards. It also creates watermarked photos, produce customized reports in Word, PDF, or HTML formats. It also generates maps as shapefiles, geodatabases. It'll run inside the ArcGIS, and it'll also create the Google Earth files. And you can prepare data for input into database such as CSV and MS Access files. A GPS, what is GeoJot Plus? It's a GPS tool, ideal for teaching geographic concepts. It increases the accuracy on iPhones and iPads. It displays the GPS location and accuracy on the screen, as you will see later. There's a GPS accuracy warning box, the GPS lock functionality, and also you can integrate laser range finders, which quite a lot of you are using for laser offsets and mapping on Android phones for the time being. So GeoJot Plus provides you output for literally every need. You can create class reports, you can create watermark photos, you can create database inputs and the web pages. You can also create Google Earth files, as you said before, shapefile and geodatabases. So here's a picture of an end-user report. It's a standard report and probably difficult to read at this stage, but Rick will show you a little more deeper into this. But you can create a custom report, as you see in various formats here. It will show you the pictures as well all the attribute data, the camera data, everything is on that report. Here's a condensed report. Again, on one sheet of paper, you can condense all the pictures and reports on one piece of paper. And then here's again a contact sheet. You can add your own comments and annotations and customer names or project names, addresses, whatever you wish to do. And Rick will tell you that in detail. So you can also get output for database and systems integration. You can get database-ready data for Oracle, SQL Server, IBM DB2, and MS Access. You can get photo-ready data for enterprise systems, SAP, asset management, enterprise geodatabase, and Maximo. So how does this work, the GeoJot Plus education? The faculty or you as a professor creates a GeoJot Plus account. The faculty, again, review the training materials, and then the faculty shares the serial number and download links with students. The individual students download the app and the core on their devices. The students obviously review the online training materials, and then they go out in the field and collect the field data. Once the data is collected, you import the photos, you do your basic QA/QC, and at that stage you can create any custom reports, maps, and database input. Depending on the student project, they can create, as I said, various reports from that data. And once a project is finished by a specific or individual group of students, the licenses can be transferred to a new group of students or new departments, but that's up to the administrator. So very important thing for you as educators, GeoJot Plus is available at a substantial discount to educational institutions, like almost 70% off the MSRP. Basically, it comes in 10-seat educational packages, and which include the training materials. For any one of you who want more information on the pricing or the demo, please do contact me. And at the bottom of this slide, you will also see there's a register for free trial, which you're welcome to log on and download your application. Thank you. Here's my contact information, and please do give me a call or email me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ashok. My name is Rick Bobbitt. I'm the President and Chief Product Architect for Geospatial Experts. And what I'm going to do now is go through a quick demo of the software. I'm going to start out with a quick demo of the Field app to show you how easy it is to get started in collecting data, and then go through the three components of GeoJot Plus, the admin dashboard, the app again, and the core software for desktop PC. So first I'm going to get the, there we go. Hold on. So first I'm going to show you the Android operating system. So this is GeoJot running on Android, a normal Android, just a live view of my Android. And when you want to get someone out in the field started, you have to send them a list or a form for what kind of data they want to collect. So what you can do in GeoJot is send it by email. So I can just open up my email, and this is a list that I sent, and you can just open that list, and it'll open in GeoJot. And that's my sign inventory conditions and compliance audit. So now we're running inside of GeoJot on the Android. The list shows all the lists I have on the device to collect data with. So now that I have my list, we can easily collect data. Collecting data in GeoJot is done through the camera. It's kind of a camera-centric, photo-centric data collection device. So to get started, it's real easy. Just start the camera, click on that, and then you take a picture of the object you want to take a picture of and collect data for. We're inside, so we don't have lat long at the bottom, but to collect the data, I just take the picture, so I'll click the picture icon. So that collects the data, the GPS data, and now I can enter the attributes for the form that I want to collect data on. This is for our street signs. So the first attribute I can collect is sign type. You just click on that, and then a drop-down list appears with all the possible values for the sign type. So I can choose wildlife crossing, and then I can go on for the next. The condition of it, I can say it's a little faded, and the position, like where is it on the road. You can have it on the median or overhead, and we can also have you enter in data yourself. If it's not on the list, you can manually enter data right here, like if it's on a side road. something like that. So anyways, you can enter data, you can click from a pick list, and you can also read from a barcode. If your signs are barcoded, we can read that as well. And then you go on compliance. It's already defaulted to yes, that it's in compliance. Here's the barcode we can enter, the color, we can enter that, and so on until you entered all your attributes. And then when you're done, you just click the save button, and then you're off to collecting your next photo. So that shows how easy it is to get started real fast on the app, use it to collect data, and get that data collected and entered how you want it. So next I'm going to go to the admin dashboard. The admin dashboard portion shows you how to manage the users you have. So it's a web-based system. I can log in here and log into the system. And this is where you can control the licenses and see who's using the software out in the field and on the desktop. So you can click serial numbers to see all the activations you have. Here we have one serial number on this account, but it has 50 activations. So 50 different people can be using the app in the field at the same time. Right now it shows that 4 are using the app and 2 are using the desktop software. So this gives you a real quick, easy way to monitor the use of the app and who's using it. And if you want to see who's using it, you can click on the activations over here. And this shows you a list of everyone who is using the app, which are the active ones, and people who have used it in the past but aren't using it right now, and they're as deactivated. So if you give it out to 30 people and only 10 are using it, then you can tell that 20 people haven't even activated it yet. So it's a real nice way to keep track of that. And then if also you have like temporary workers that forget to deactivate the software on their device, you can deactivate it for them remotely. So like here, if I want to deactivate AJ because he's no longer with us, I can click here and change his status to deactivated, and that frees up a license, one of those 50 licenses, for someone else to use. So that's the admin dashboard. It's a real easy way to manage your licenses. And our licenses for the app are real easy, is that you can use them on any combination of Apple, iPhone, or soon-to-be Windows 6.5 devices, any combination of those. So next, I'm going to show you some more advanced features in the app itself. Get rid of this. Hold on. So like I showed before on the attribute list, these show all the different lists that we have in the field for collecting data. So one that we started with was one that I already pre-made, but you can create these attribute lists here on the device itself just by clicking the plus button, and then you can enter all the attributes and all the data right here on the device. But an easier way to do it is to use our desktop software. This is our core PC software, so I can bring that up. And we have a list editor in here. This lets you create the list in here much easier than doing it on the mobile devices. So to create a list, I'm starting with a brand new list. I can hit add, and you just type the type of attribute you want to collect, like a sign type. For each attribute, you can have whether that attribute is required, whether they have to enter something in before they continue to the next photo, and whether they're allowed to freeform type or have to select from a list. You can also set a default value. If 80–90% of your items have the same value, you can put those in here as well. And then over here for values, this is our pick list that'll show up to the users when they click on sign type. So this is where you can put in all your different sign types like yield, stop, merge, and so on. And then to add another attribute, you just click add, type in condition, and this one I'm going to make required and not allow typing, so they have to pick on the pick list, which shows people how to use to make sure the data is all consistent between everyone using it. So for condition, I can have new, faded, and so on. So you can type this up. You can create these lists real easily like this for any kind of situation or data you want to collect. And if you have some of that data already in like Excel spreadsheets or CSV files, you can also import the data from like an import the data right into here. So I can show you that for this other list, I can import from an Excel spreadsheet, and it instantly populates my whole list. For like owned by, it has all the values populated for me. You can also cut and paste from PDFs and other lists to get those list values in here without having to retype them all in. And once you get your list created, again, you can attach it to an email like I showed you at first. You can also save it to the cloud, the Dropbox, which we'll get into a little bit later, and have it on the device that way. So now that we got the list created and shown how to do that, let's go back to the device. And we're going to show some more advanced and kind of setup features on the GeoJot app itself. So I'm going to go to Settings. In the settings, we have Camera, which you can control the size of the photo in pixels, and then Cloud. So our cloud settings were integrated with Dropbox, which is a free cloud provider. Anyone can sign up for free and get 2 gigabytes of storage. And we use this to auto-send the photos, which contain the data, up to the cloud automatically. And once they get sent up to the cloud automatically on the mobile device, on the desktop device like I have here, you can have Dropbox running and it'll suck back down the photos off the cloud in real time onto your desktop PC. So as people are taking photos in the field, they'll get up to the cloud, stored there, and then copied to your PC for processing. Then we have some other options for the cloud. You can set it to only send the photos by Wi-Fi if you have a data plan limitation. And then we have a couple file name renaming options. Instead of having the normal 000.1.jpg, you can rename your files based on something meaningful, like a project name. And then even more flexible, you can base it on an attribute, like action required. So this is more of a dynamic thing where, depending on what was entered in the field, it will actually rename the photos based on that, which allows you to sort the photos and organize them that way automatically. And along those same lines, besides the file name, we can also specify what path in Dropbox, which again corresponds to a path on your local PC, that the photos will be sent to. You can do this by project or something, and then a subfolder based on, again, another attribute that you're collecting to more organize your photos. So now I can go back, sit for the cloud. Units, we can set, display units of distance and lat long. Then let's go into some advanced settings. Here we can set the required accuracy for the GPS. If you want to ensure that you have the best quality position, you can turn high accuracy required on. And if the GPS accuracy is worse than 33 feet, it won't allow you to take the photo. Select that. And then we have a clear lock feature. We have a GPS lock feature, which lets you not just take a photo of the position of where you're at, but the position of the object. So this lets you walk up to an object, lock the position, and walk back and take a photo, and the position collected will be that object. We have retain values, so if you want to have the same values appear as you enter them over and over again, you can check that option. And then group photos allows you to take multiple photos, but only enter the attributes once, and all those attributes get copied to the photos. And then we can connect to laser rangefinders as well. We connect to the laser technology True Pulse laser rangefinders. This allows you to collect the offset distance and direction to an object so that you can not just, again, get the position of where you're at when you took the photo, but if the object's 100 feet away, you can shoot up the laser, and then the software will actually compute the position of that object without having to go up to it. And we can collect other laser data too, like the height of a pole or the width and that kind of thing. So that's it for the advanced settings. Let's go back to the camera screen and show you some of those settings as well. So on the camera screen, everything here, this shows the current list you're working on and then the lat long. And then we have options to show or not show various items on the screen. So I can go to display settings and we can turn on what direction you have, or like the accuracy, which is good to monitor for the GPS. And these other options, pitch and roll, whether the lock is on or off. And then we can go back here, and now we have the direction on the screen and the GPS accuracy, which is always good to monitor. And then this is the lock feature I was telling you about, which if you lock this, then the GPS goes yellow, and it won't change again until you click unlock, so that you can capture that object position, not just your photo position. So once you've collected all your photos, let's go back to the main screen. Then the last feature is the camera roll. All the photos you've collected will be stored in the camera roll. This shows all the photos you've taken. You can see a map of all your photos. Click that here. So this shows you just an overview map of all the photos you've taken. And then for each photo, you can see the first 3 attributes collected, and then an icon to say whether this photo has been sent up to the cloud or not. So I can click on this photo and see more detailed information. I can see the full picture of the photo. Then I can click on map and see a map where that photo was taken. Since I was indoors, I didn't have one here. I can go to one that I already have. And then it shows you the position that was taken. This one I took with a laser, so it has the laser position as well. And then the attributes we collected for the photos. Let's go back to the sign. So this shows the attributes I collected when I took the photo, and for some other QA/QC type, we can change these attributes here as well. So instead of condition faded, we can change that to new and allow people to change those values right here in the field. So that's it for the app. It shows you how really easy to set up and get started and take lots of photos and collect your data. So the next thing we're going to show is the core software, which allows you to process the data and create your output. So let me get that. So this is our GeoJot Plus core software. It runs on Windows PCs. It's the next generation of our GPS PhotoLink software, which is almost 12 years old now. We've had that software out there. GeoJot Plus is based on that software, so people who've used it in the past. The PhotoLink will look very familiar to you. We just added some more features to it and made it compatible with the mobile phone apps as well. We're project-based, so here in the Project Manager, we can see all the projects that I've run. And for each project, you can see all the output that we created for the project. Then you can create a new project. And then the project window will come up. Here I already have some photos in a project. In the project window, it's kind of a wizard-based system to step you through the process. So over here, there's 7 steps that you can click on the tabs here. The first step is import photos, which I've done here. But if you need to, you can also drag and drop from Dropbox. So let's say we had this Dropbox, which these are all our cloud photos that have been coming down. And then we can have those over here. And you can drag and drop these onto the photos themselves, onto the project to process them. But if you had those photos organized in the cloud with various subdirectories, then you can choose which photos you want to process. So once you have all your photos, the next step is for geotagging. Now geotagging is mainly for photos that you've taken with cameras without GPSs. So the GeoJot core is really flexible in that you can use almost any camera on GPS you want. So if you have a Trimble collecting data and like a high-end DSLR Canon camera, then we can collect those data separately, but then connect them here in the software, and it'll geotag them and reference the photo with the actual GPS position where they were taken. But since we took these photos with the smartphone, then all of our photos already have GPS positions, so we can go to the next step. So the attribute editor is the central part of the software where most of the work is done. Here we can see all the photos we've taken on a map. You can hover over and see all the different photos, plus all the photos here as thumbnails on the side. And then for each photo, we can see all the data about the photo, either collected from the camera or from the user. So the first part is from the photo information, the title, subject, comment. The second part is the GPS information, all the data from the GPS, including offset position if you're collecting with the laser. And then we have here our attribute data that we collected in the field. Again, like the sign type, condition, and we also have the same editing capabilities here as we have in the field. So you can use the same list. So if you need to change it from faded here, we can change it back to new. We have the same attribute list here as in the mobile apps for consistency and data collection. You can also move the points here if you find that one of your GPS positions isn't quite correct. You can easily move these points to the correct position. If I know this sign was actually right there, then we can move that as well and change the photo direction. So everything's editable on here, and it changes the lat long right here on the screen. The next step is the photo editor. Once you have your data all collected, then our photo editor has the standard kind of photo editing tools: automatic color correction, brightness, contrast. We can rotate the photo, but then we can also annotate on the photo or draw on it as well. So if we wanted to highlight certain things about the photo for someone to look at, then we can circle that on here on the photo itself by selecting the drawing tool and draw on it right on here. And that'll go on the thumbnails and everything so that you can see what's happening. And one of the more useful tools here is the crop photo. So here I took a picture of two signs, but I really only collected data on that top one. So what I can do is crop out the photo, especially with smartphones that seem to take a lot of wide angle photos. We can just crop that out and focus on the photo, the part of the photo that we want to see and collecting data about. The next step is the watermarking step. So watermarking allows you to imprint data right on the photo itself. We can have latitude and longitude, any of the memos, any of the data we've collected can be imprinted on the photo. And a lot of people like this for archiving capabilities or printing out in reports, because you can print it right on the photo and not have to do a whole table of data. And then we have options. We can have the data appear above and below the photo in white space, or we can put it on top of the photo itself like that, depending on what you want. We also have the ability to put watermarks on here. You can put a couple watermarks. If you want to do your city or school logo or something like that, you can put that on here as well. The next is our shared output settings. These are common settings for a lot of our outputs. The first is the photo information, which you can select the size of the output photos and what attribute you want to use for like a photo title. And then for our data reports, we can have a title page, and for this title page you can specify the title, subtitles, and other information on the page. Plus you can do two logos on that page as well. And then for the reports, we have maps that we pull down from the internet. You can specify where you get those maps from. You can get them from Google, you can get them from ArcGIS Online or USGS for the overview maps and the individual maps for each photo. But we can also do custom maps as well. If you have your own data, your own plan that you collected or aerial photos, and you have like an ArcGIS document, you can use an ArcGIS document for a background map or from an ArcGIS server as well. The next is the attribute table. This tells what in the reports and the data part that get output, which of these attributes you want to output. It's all customizable. You can have the latitude, longitude output. If you want the elevation, you just click that, and now the elevation will get output as well. And then, of course, all the data we collected, we can click on those and output all that data too. Rename photos is similar to what we had on the mobile device, but a little more powerful in that we can specify not just one memo to rename the photos by, but a whole series of attributes or memos, so that this gives you a little preview of what the photo will be renamed as if you want to put some actual data in the file name as well. Then we have the select output section. Here's where you specify what data you want to output. We have report files on this top part and data files down here. Report files, we have standard report, which again has a title page, overview map, and then for each photo, it has the photo and a couple maps in the attribute table. Web pages are the same, just as HTML documents that can be put to a website. And then a condensed report shows up to 3 photos with attributes and maps per page. And then a contact sheet has just photos with no attributes, up to 8 per page. Data files, we have the standard shape files can be used in ArcGIS or other GISs. And then we do have the advanced geodatabase output as well. So you can do all the different types of geodatabases from ArcGIS. You can do a personal geodatabase, the file geodatabase, or link to an enterprise geodatabase via SDE. You have the data on a SQL Server or Oracle database as well. Then we have Google Earth output, excuse me, and then an Exchange format, which is our XML version of the GPS data. And then an Access database, which is a relational database output of all the raw data in case you want to import that into your database. And then a text file for just have a common text file output for all your data. Now, it might seem like there's a lot of different options in here, and there are, but the good thing is that we can set this up as a template. So once you get all the settings set as you like, you set the project as a template, and the next time you come in, all you have to do is create it based on that template, drop in some photos, and click Create Output, and all your settings will be saved just like you had before. So get your settings saved once, make it a template, and then you can just reuse that template over and over again for easy processing of the photos. So now let's show you some of the output. First, we're going to show you the standard report. So here we have, again, like I said, an overview map, all that title data and logos on the top, and where the points where all the photos were taken. And then for each photo, we have the photo itself, a couple background maps, and an attribute table of all the data we collected. And so on for all the photos that we collected. We can do this report in PDF or Microsoft Word. Oops, oh, wrong one. And then the other one is the contact sheet report. Now here we're doing 4 photos per page, but you can do up to 8 photos per page if you want a more compact way of showing your data. Now for some maps, like I said, we did Google Earth output, so I can bring that up. So this is a Google Earth output of our data. And for each photo, you can click on it and see the thumbnail of the photo and all the attributes collected. So you can see that for all your different photos. So the Google Earth way is a real easy way to get it to people who don't have ArcGIS. You can send them a KMZ file and they can open this up on their desktop real easily. And next I'm going to show you ArcGIS. So this is ArcGIS, ArcMap running. We have our own GeoJot extension running inside of ArcGIS. This comes free with the product with the GeoJot Plus system. And then here's a layer with all the points of where we took our photos and what we call a wedge or a field of view of the angle we actually took the photo at and what we're seeing. And then to see the data about the photos, you can hover over a point and not only see the photo, but also data about the photo as well. So that's it for running through the different parts of GeoJot Plus. And for next, I think I'm going to pass it back to Stephanie for now, and we can go from there.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward with the Q&A session. Let's see here, Rick, if you can go ahead and expand that question area. All right, so we've already got some questions in there, so I will just go ahead and start reading those. And please feel free during the Q&A session to go ahead and type in more questions. And as I said earlier, we're going to go ahead and answer as many questions as we can, and if we don't get to them, we are going to be transcribing this, and we will be posting the Q&A session or the Q&A transcript on our website.
Okay, so the first question we have, and please keep asking more questions. We can't hear you, so you have to type in on the questions for us to answer your question. The first question is, does the mobile software work in areas without cell phone reception? The answer is yes, because the GPS on the mobile devices are totally separate from the cell phone or phone part of the device. So you can be out in the boonies and wherever you're at, and you can still get GPS data, take the photos, collect the data. Now you won't have cloud access, but it'll queue it up, and when you get back to cell phone range or Wi-Fi connectivity, it'll upload those photos to the cloud automatically. And then is a way to change the next question is there a way to change the units to metric? And so the answer is yes, both on the app and on the desktop software you can have metric units. On the desktop software we can also do we have full-blown Blue Marble Geographics datum and projection system in there, so you can do UTM, state plane, literally any projection system in the world. You can have the data output to.
Okay, and another question here about can you use a separate GPS receiver? We get this question a lot. People ask if you can hook up to a Trimble or a Juniper system to get more accurate GPS.
Right, and the answer is yes, you can on the Android devices. So the Android support Bluetooth, or it's open to Bluetooth. So it's really easy to connect, like a Bluetooth puck or non-display kind of GPS Bluetooth, or a high-end GPS that's just an antenna GPS with Bluetooth. You could hook that up to your Android, and instead of getting 3 to 5 meter accuracy on your Android, you can get your 1 meter, sub-meter accuracy of whatever Bluetooth, live real-time Bluetooth GPS that you have. So it is really easy to connect those up together.
Okay, we've got another question here. Can one customize the attribute table or edit the default ones to match our needs?
And the answer is yes. Yeah, the attribute tables or the list forms are totally customizable. The defaults are customizable. You can have up to 40 different attributes in your list, plus title, comment, subject, and description, so 44 attributes, and they can have any number of items in the pick list. You could have hundreds or thousands of items if you wanted in there, and you can have whatever default value you want for each one of the attributes as well. That's correct.
Okay, do the same serial numbers work for Android, iOS, and Windows Mobile? And actually, Rick, maybe if we could pull up the administrator's dashboard and show that again.
Yeah, sure. So the question is the serial numbers that we use. What devices can we use those on? And for the app, this one serial number, like I'm going to this demo account, we have this serial number here that can be used on not only the Android devices. The same serial number can be used on Apple devices, Windows Mobile, and the desktop. So the same serial number is used on all the GeoJots, no matter where they are. Now, for the app portion of it, you can use the same serial number and then activate, deactivate, as long as you don't go over your license limit, like 50. But you could have that as any combination of Android, Apples, Windows Mobiles, all using the same serial number.
And right here with the 50 activations, that's 50 people using the app and 50 activations for the app and 50 activations for core. So the whole system is the app and core, and then the ability to manage that with the administrator's dashboard. So one activation will get you both app and core. So 50 activations is 50 people using the app, 50 people using core.
Right. So again, we get this a lot. What's the accuracy of the GPS? It depends on your device. So, Trimble has an Android, the T41, the Juno 5, and that'll get you 1 to 2 meter accuracy sometimes. But if you're using just a normal smartphone, Apple device, you'll get the normal civilian GPS of 3 to 5 meters. So it's totally dependent on the device and depending on your needs of accuracy. If you need higher accuracy, you can go to the higher end Trimble devices or other devices that are running Android, or you might be able to use some of the devices you currently have and Bluetooth those to Android as well. Okay, keep asking more questions. We'll try to answer any questions we don't answer. We will again send them out in the end. So
here's another question: what kind of training materials are available for GeoJot? So currently we have a quick start guide and we have training videos on the Geospatial Experts website, and we're also in the process of making materials specific to educational institutions. And in addition to all of that, there's also context-sensitive help within the app and within GeoJot Core. Okay, let's see here. We have a question about how much are the educational licenses. So, Ashok, I'm going to pass that one over to you.
Sure. Basically, we can talk the pricing because it varies from number of licenses you want and how your project is going to be taken out and collecting the data. So I think that question, if you folks who's interested can email or call me and we can discuss the pricing. We'll try to make it as easy process as you want because, as I said, the prices vary depending on the licenses. So I would suggest that you send me an email or call me and we can design a program for you which will fit your budgets and your needs.
Excellent. All right. So the last question there. So Bluetooth to external GPS is not available for Apple devices. We want to use iPads as well. Is there, will there be an iPad Core app?
Well, so the answer, the GeoJot app runs on iPad right now, and it'll use the internal GPS if it has one. There are some external GPSs you can get for the iPhones and the iPads. One is called the ELF GPS, which it is Bluetooth, but it's a special kind of Bluetooth, so it's not going through the app. It's just between the Apple device and the ELF GPS and some other external Bluetooth GPSs. But just a generic Bluetooth GPS like a Trimble won't work with the Apples at all. It has to be a specific GPS. So ELF makes not only an external wireless Bluetooth, but they also make a plug-in GPS, so you can use the iPad or like the iPod Touch, which are a little cheaper without data plans. You can use those with the ELF GPS with our GeoJot app in the field. And we have many people doing that. We're actually on the approved list of ELF GPS that were compatible with them.
But for most of the issues with Apple, it's not dependent on our software or the app. It's that the actual hardware device needs to be approved to communicate via Bluetooth with an Apple device. So it's the actual hardware device that's the issue. It's not. Right. It's not the software. It's not our app. So we do have another question, and I put this one off for a second earlier because I'm not sure I understand it. So we're going to do this one offline, but I did want to let you know that I saw your question about integrating GeoJot for teaching GIS course online. Have any universities used it online? I don't know of any universities that have used it for an online course, but I think that that's something that could be done. I mean, the whole point with GeoJot is that you have the administrator's dashboard so you can manage the licenses for people anywhere. So if you had a license that had 10 activations, you could have people all across the country being part of an online course that you could, activate, and they could use it wherever they are. So we'll make sure that Ashok follows up with you, or if you want to go ahead and follow up with Ashok, that would be fantastic. The next question, do all activations upload to the same Dropbox folder?
If you can, for Dropbox, you can do a couple different options. You can have one Dropbox account and use it on 20 different devices, and it'll use the same account on all 20 devices. Now, with the organizational options I showed, you can have them, it's up to you. You can have them all go to one folder, or you can have them go to a separate folder. If you had 20 different devices out there, you could have them upload to 20 different folders to keep them separate from each device. If you have 20 different people collecting data for 20 separate projects, then you can have it go to 20 separate folders. But it's all customizable where that data goes on the Dropbox side. Dropbox also has an enterprise level license where you can actually have users and teams and 100 gigabytes of storage, and you can also share folders that way as well and have folders go to different people. But it can be as simple as, yes, it goes to the same folder, or you can have them all go to each to a separate folder.
All right. Well, with that, if anybody else has any other questions, we'll go ahead and type those in and we'll get those answered. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the webinar. So, Ashok, if you have a few words you want to say to wrap this up.
Yes. First of all, thanks for attending the webinar. And also, I wanted to emphasize one big thing that Rick showed you a example of basically traffic sign inventory. But don't restrict into your thinking that that's the only application. You know, I have met a lot of educators. I know students are doing projects on collecting data on trees or on handicap ramps and benches around the campuses, you know, collecting data on fire hydrants and manhole covers. So just use your imagination and your students' imagination to see where this project fits their workload, because it's just not traffic signs. It can be anything where you have to collect some field data and produce a geotag map. So just think outside the box, not just this specific application, and I'm sure you will find this a very useful product. Thank you again for attending today.
All right. Thank you very much. Once again, we said that we will be posting the recorded webinar, the Q&A transcript, and the PowerPoint slides on our websites. Thank you very much for attending, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.